I'm on a mission to rebuild my fitness so that I can make 2026 my best year on the bike. So I've had a few weeks of solid consistency now, and I finally feel like I'm in a routine that feels like proper training. So I want to show you what a typical week looks like as an amateur cyclist training with the support of a coach. Hello and welcome back. In episode 1, I gave you a little bit of a rundown of my cycling history, why I want to rebuild my fitness, and how I actually am going to rebuild my fitness. Now, I've been training consistently for a few weeks now with the support of my coach Bernardo. In this episode, I'm going to give you a rundown of what a typical week looks like for an amateur cyclist currently in a winter base phase. So far, I've absolutely loved working with a coach. If I compare my work with Bernardo to the structure and the training that I've set for myself in the past, it's worlds apart. It feels much more dynamic. I'm enjoying it more. The progress has been challenging, but at the same time, I've also been recovering really well. And it's just so good not having to think about what's in the diary, what I need to eat. I just look at Training Peaks and it's all there in front of me. So let's go back to the start of the week on Monday and I'll take you through what I do on a typical day and you can follow along and see what my structure looks like. So let's get straight to it. Thankfully, Mondays usually start pretty gently for me. I make a coffee, ease into the morning, and then jump on the turbo for a really easy spin. It's a proper zone 1 session, no effort, no stress, just turning the legs over and shaking off whatever's left from the weekend. It's simple, but it kind of resets everything. It helps me settle into the week and get ready for the harder sessions coming up. Tuesday is my full day off the bike and I actually really value it. I take the dog out for a longer walk and head down towards the beach just to give my body and head a bit of space before the rest of the week ramps up. If I can make the time, I'll head into Liverpool to go to the sauna and cold plunge. I find it definitely helps with recovery. Just easing some of the soreness and keeping the body feeling ready for the harder sessions coming up. Later on in the evening, I'll usually finish the day with some light stretching and a few minutes with a massage gun. Nothing intense. I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm doing. It's just enough to keep everything moving before I really ramp up and get mad tomorrow. Hello. Today we've got torque intervals. We've got 5 sets of 4 minutes at threshold effort, but our cadence is going to be 35 RPM, so real slow, grindy. The goal of this session is to achieve a power cadence relationship of 64 Newton meters of torque. Now, the first torque session that I did absolutely wrote me off. It felt like if you've ever done a ramp test and at the end where you just can't go anymore and you get that kind of slow death spin on the turbo, it's kind of like that. However, I've done 3 sessions of these now and I'm finding that my legs have really adapted already. Torque is something that I've struggled with in the past. There's been a few occasions where I've been up hills in the Peak District and in Wales in the UK. Now, if you know, you know. There isn't anything kind of long and steady in those areas. It's very short and very sharp. I'm really hoping this type of training translates into real world experience. I hated it at first, but I'm really enjoying it now. I'm just gonna have my second lot of carbs for the morning. I'm gonna have 40 grams of carbohydrates now, leave it about 15 minutes, jump on the bike, no carbs during the intervals. So anyway, let's get straight to it. Oh, and that is me done. Now, I
I really struggled with that one now. I'm not sure what was going on. It felt like either the turbo or Zwift wasn't reading my input very well, and I found it to be a little bit janky. If I'm honest, with this turbo and also my previous one, I've found that it struggles at low cadence under high torque. When your legs are under that much tension for so long, it can become really quite difficult. They're not nice though. I really don't wish them upon anyone. I'm hoping next week we are moving up watts and up the cadence, so rather than 35 like we've done today, more around 50, but with probably closer to maybe 250 or 260 watts. That would be nice. But anyway, that's me done for today. So I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, good morning. Today is one of those days where I didn't fancy getting out of bed. You know when you're lying in bed and you can hear the wind outside and it just sounds cold? One of those days. Thankfully it actually wasn't. It's not too bad. I've got the jacket on, but that's pretty standard in British winter, isn't it? Today, we've got a zone 2 session, only an hour. The difference with this one though, is that we're mixing up our cadence. So we're gonna be doing 10-minute blocks of, I think, 105 RPM, just trying to balance out some of that low cadence torque work that we've been doing. Now, believe it or not, I actually prefer the low torque work to the high cadence work. Today's session is fasted. As much as I dislike fasted training, I have noticed since I've started doing it with my coach that I've become a lot more resistant to hunger on the bike. I'm not a scientist. I can only assume that that is my body becoming more efficient at burning fat, which is what we want to achieve during this phase of training. As we progress into the season, come spring, we're going to introduce a lot more carbohydrates. But anyway, I'm going to shut up now because Zwift is telling me that I'm not spinning fast enough. So I'm going to crack on with this warm up and I'll join you later on. So that is my first high cadence interval done. It was nice and easy. I was riding at 175 watts initially, but the heart rate was blowing up past 145, which is the limit which has been set by my coach for this session. We've lowered the watts down to 170. We'll likely ride at that for the rest of the session. It's difficult sometimes not letting the ego kick in and making sure the easy rides are easy. That's where the gains are made. Keeping the hard rides really hard and the easy rides really easy. But you've got the gist of this one now. So I'm just going to crack on and I'll join you again tomorrow.
Friday is my strength day, and yes, I always start with a bit of pole dancing. Now, I've been in and out of strength training for years, so this part of my week is something that I'm really comfortable with. For cycling, you don't need to overcomplicate it. A mix of compound lifts and single leg work can go a long, long way. The compounds build general strength, think squats, hinges, that kind of thing. They'll help you produce force for a full range of motion, which carries over into things like torque work and also your climbing too. The single leg movements help iron out any imbalances and give you a bit more stability on the bike, especially when you're trying to put down power smoothly. The only catch with strength work is that it can completely wipe your legs out if you push too hard, so I always prioritise the key bike sessions first. Hard intervals take priority and then strength and conditioning fits around them. Otherwise, you can just end up feeling flat on the days where quality really matters. I'll be doing a full strength and conditioning deep dive in the next episode, so I'll break down all of this properly there.
Today is now Saturday and today's cycling fit is absolutely on point. I've got the bib shorts covered in chamois cream. I'm wearing Aero socks. I've got a Nike running t-shirt on the gilet because it's a little bit cold in here now. This is peak cycling indoor clobber. Anyway, enough messing around. I actually am running behind now, so I'm gonna have to make a move. Get this over and done with, nice and quick, get some good YouTube on, and yeah, wrap up the day. That is Saturday's turbo session done. 2 hours and 10 minutes in the end. I've found that since doing this high torque, low cadence work that my legs are spinning at 95 to 100 RPM much more comfortably now. I wonder if the two are linked. I'm actually gonna ask my coach about that. I will catch you tomorrow for 3 hours on the turbo or 3 hours outside if this nice weather sticks. Hello, it is Sunday. Had a nice chill one yesterday with some friends, although I did eat a lot of rich food, so the belly isn't fantastic today. Thankfully, the weather is really nice today. There was a big storm yesterday, loads of wind, loads of rain, but it's blew straight through now and left blue skies. I'm gonna get out on the road bike. I've got 3 hours of zone 2. Now, unfortunately, I might not be able to film a lot of it as the GoPro is completely dead and I am strapped for time as straight after this ride, we are going to see some family for some Sunday dinner. So I'll film what I can, but otherwise I'll report back at the end. See you soon. That is ride done, 3 hours, about 80k on the cards, and some sprint efforts at the end. I almost forgot about them, but just kind of slipped back into my mind. I think I probably averaged around about 600 watts for 10 seconds, 5 or 6 times, all seated. Felt nice and strong. Definitely a lot more awkward compared to doing it indoor on the trainer though. Looking out for cars, trying to press the lap button on the computer, but we got there in the end. Lovely little ride in the end, really, really good. Think I needed it, cleared the head, and now I'm going to the family for some Sunday dinner to get some food in me. All right, that is the week wrapped up. Mostly zone 1 and zone 2 work. Got in some torque training and also a few sprints on Sunday. And in total, I covered around 270 kilometers across 10 hours of training. Now, each week won't remain static. The goal here is progressive overload. So each week we will slightly up the hours until a plateau on that, but we'll also play with the watts and the cadence on the torque training just to make sure that I'm getting some new stimulus. I've spoke to Bernardo, my coach, and he explained we might add in a small block of VO2 max work just to make sure that we're moving at that top end too, but nothing too serious. Now, you absolutely can do this type of training with a coach. If you wanted to, you could use this episode as a blueprint and speak to ChatGPT and see what it can come up with. However, if you are someone who is time poor or maybe your head's at full capacity, having a coach will absolutely help. Life isn't simple, it's very dynamic and things often change, and that is where I've failed in the past. Having a coach to guide me through those moments is really, really helping so far. In next week's episode, I'm going to do a bit of a deep dive on off the bike work. So looking at my strength training, how you can replicate it, including if you don't have some of the equipment or access to a gym. I'm also going to give you a full breakdown of a week's nutrition and how that changes day to day. And I'm also going to tell you a little bit more about my weight journey from being quite overweight during COVID, where I got really into craft beers and World of Warcraft, up until today where I'm at a really sustainable, healthy weight, and each day I'm getting leaner and leaner with this cycling training. If you've stuck around this far, I'm really grateful for your support. Leave your thoughts and feedback in the comments down below. I will be sure to reply to you, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.